Okay, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome to my late night live stream. I decided to do a live stream before I go to bed. I was actually planning to travel today, but unfortunately, all the flights out of the Isle of Man got cancelled, so I'm gonna stay a while longer in the Isle of Man. There is a couple of events going on in London, and there's a few things going on obviously in Middlesbrough and in Glasgow as well, which I want to attend. And then I have to be back in London again. There's a interfaith event taking place with my good friend Tanki Riaz, who's actually unfortunately unwell at the moment. So we all wish him and we pray for him for a speedy recovery, inshallah. And hopefully we'll catch up also with our weight measurements. So I'll catch up on what my current weight is and stuff like that, possibly at the end of the month. So 1st of October, me and Tamkin will take our final measurement. It's been a couple of months since we started the challenge, and we'll see where we stand. At the moment, I currently stand about 86 kilos. He stands at about 85 kilos, so I'm just about a kilo behind, more than him, more than Tamkin Riaz. And yeah, so hopefully, inshallah, I'll try to catch up, or at least both of us will at least end the month at 84, inshallah. We'll see how it goes. That'd be great, but then we can then move into October and try to lose that final few kilos to reach our target of 80 kilograms. We obviously have no control on the results, like I've always advocated and always share with the audience. We only concentrate on the activities. We do exercise, we go to the gym, do a diet or something like that. For me, I'm doing prolonged fasting, but just liquids. So I just drink liquids, milk, organic milk, coffee, green tea, almond milk. Yeah, I try to stay away from any drink that contains sugar. So I kind of look at the back and I say, okay, this contains a bit of sugar, added sugar, and I avoid it. And I just try to stick to things that are zero sugar or near zero. Sometimes it's not within your control. But yeah, drinking full cream milk or skim milk, which is organic, is good. There is one level better, which is to do a water fast, and avoid completely any liquids that contain any form of calories. So that would be even much better. But obviously you have to supplement that with electrolytes like magnesium and sodium and other stuff like that, as well as vitamins as well. So I try to do that. I try to supplement my diet with like vitamins and electrolytes. I've got electrolyte water, and yeah, that helps me a lot. So yeah, I just wanted to just chat with you audience. I was hoping to invite guests, but unfortunately everyone's busy during the week, so I couldn't grab anyone between the window that I had free while I was working on my business. So yeah, unfortunately a lot of my friends are still in the employee position, so they're not in a position of controlling their life in a way, or having that flexibility to do what they're passionate about. And I hope to inspire them to eventually become real entrepreneurs and become financially independent, inshallah, through these podcasts and live streams that I do. And also love to create awareness on what's going on. I shared the story of the sister that's in a very dire situation, and we need to all come together and support her and try to find a solution for her from getting out of this detention center, the refugee camp. And yeah, So it's a very difficult situation, very dire situation, um, and I warn anyone that even thinks of you know migrating to another country to always follow the legal means. I know it could be difficult. I know there's a lot of discrimination, especially in the West, in the UK and so on. They're anti-foreigners, anti anyone that's not blonde enough or have blue eyes and fair skin. They are very racist. And the French are more racist than the English, so I understand that. I am part English, so ethnically, and so I understand that. I can completely understand the situation. See, they're not going to welcome you with open arms unless you have blonde hair and blue eyes or green eyes, and you are Scandinavian or you're East European or you're Ukrainian. They'll welcome you with open arms. And but other than that, forget it. If you're an Arab, you have no rights. They don't even consider you human. They're subhuman in their eyes. Of course, this is absolutely wrong. And as Muslims, we know that we all originated from the same source. We have the same father, so we're all from the same family. And unfortunately, this is the case with these countries, the countries we live in. I'm hoping that the stance in the Isle of Man would improve, and I feel this is the trend. They're more open-minded, they're more respectable towards anyone, and even foreigners. They treat them well. They treat everyone as a human being. So the Isle of Man is the main home for me, really, and this is why I came to the Isle of Man in 2016. I think it was 2016 or 2017. I'm not quite sure now. It's been quite some time. And I chose that because of the safety, obviously, the respect, the mutual respect in the community. People here are trying to build, not do destructive activities like in the UK. The government in the Isle of Man are more aligned with, residents. Not like in the UK, the government are completely detached. They're working on their own self-interest. And unfortunately, a lot of the people as well, they have that interest. And because of this as well, it really upsets me to say the Muslim community, which is what I'm trying to focus on. These are the people that I'm going to criticize the most because this is the community that I belong to. Unfortunately, they have taken bad habits from the countries that they originated from, and countries, if they worked in the UK, they've taken really bad habits. They haven't really picked up on the good values. The vast majority are like that. I mean, there are minorities that you can count on your fingers, in your hand, basically, that have the right understanding of Islam and the message of Islam and the correct morals and integrity and ethics and everything else that goes with the package, because Islam is a complete way of life. It's not just a spirituality, or it's not just a religion like everything, like any other religion. It's a complete way of life. It's a blueprint to live a very fruitful, successful life. But unfortunately, the vast majority, I can go as much as 99% of the Muslims on the island, they don't understand this, and they're completely lost. Some of them are completely deluded with worldly gains and the worldly desire, materialism and so on. So they're no different than someone that's an atheist or someone who has no goal in life. They're just drifting, and they don't want to get involved in supporting one another. They're not united. I've spoken to several Muslim brothers on the island where I felt there could potentially be synergy between us to cooperate, to do something productive, something for the next generation, something that will show the beauty of Islam to the world. But unfortunately, they don't have that same vision. They prefer to, but work on something that will benefit just them and not share all cooperate to do something bigger that would benefit society. They have a very narrow vision. And each to their own. Of course, we all have a different test in life, and Allah's the judge between us all. He knows what's in our heart and our intentions, and He's the only judge that will judge who will go to paradise and will go to hell and will get punished and everything else. So we just leave it all in the hands of Allah. But I hope and I pray that Allah sends good quality people with morals and integrity and ethics that will serve Him as true servants of Allah, true Muslims, internally and externally. People that will give the best image of Islam and the Muslims. People that have the real vision to serve our Creator in the way that He deserves to be worshipped. Not people that are just show-offs, or people that are just there just trying to benefit by portraying themselves as Muslims and that kind of stuff. People that really feel for one another, they're part of that one body, one ummah. I hope and I pray that Allah does rectify those people that are completely lost in this world. But I like to start with myself. Obviously, I have to improve myself. I have to be a good example in every aspect, religiously, ethically, academically, physically. In every aspect, I have to be a good example to inspire others to also maybe do better than me. Inshallah, I want people to do better than me, achieve more success. But I'd like to share my journey. Why? So people can actually see what the challenges that I might face. For example, I'm trying to build this channel here that you're watching me on right now, Sammy Hegab channel. And this would be done purely fi sabilillah, for just to benefit the community, benefit the world, benefit anyone that wants to learn, benefit anyone that wants to follow my footsteps or even find their own journey in life, find a purpose in life. So this channel will be that. This is what I want to do. And it's been very difficult to find people to spare some time, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, to come on my show and share a positive message. Now, of course, I don't want to invite any Tom, Dick or Harry on the show, or some just random people, or negative people, negative-minded people that complain about life, blame the government, that kind of stuff. I want to invite good quality people that will inspire others to also do something useful with their life. Because with time, you're in loss, you're losing. We all age, we all decline in so many aspects, like cognitively, physically. So as we get older, so we should invest our time to build something which will benefit others before benefiting ourselves. Put others first. Service to many leads to greatness. I've always said it and I keep repeating because I want to drum it in that it's very important. It's the purpose of life to serve others, serve the world, contribute in every aspect of life. Because that is the true meaning of Islam. When you submit your will to God, Allah, that's what He wants from you. He wants you to prosper, not for yourself, but prosper collectively, everybody, to become successful. Everybody pulls the other person up. Forget about the person that's, higher than you or more senior than you or performing better or financially, achieved more financial success or anything like that. Don't look at the people that are, ahead of you in the game a little bit. Look at the people that are less fortunate than you and say, Alhamdulillah, give thanks to the Creator. Say, Alhamdulillah, I am in a better position. But not just, I'm in a better position. Okay, that's it. No, I'm in a better position, but what the position I'm in that's better than other people, I'm going to use that position I'm in to help someone that's less fortunate. I'm going to feel for someone. I'm going to be more empathetic, not have sympathy or pity for someone that's less fortunate. I was talking to someone just before this podcast, and he was telling me in the past, when in younger years, he was always making kind of like mocking people with mental health issues, or and he couldn't understand how could someone be depressed, how could someone be suffering from anxiety, how could someone be suffering. But then as time went on, several years later, he went and ended up in that similar situation. Now he can relate. He can relate with people that have depression, that might be considering ending their life, and all these things. So it can happen to absolutely anybody. So you should be careful, and you should respect people. I was going through a hardship at one time, and I wasn't in the correct state, the positive state. But the thing is, I was a Muslim, and I am a Muslim, I mean to say. But so I always remind myself, Allah. But when I was younger, I almost lost that battle, because I didn't have the guidance. I didn't have the adults, or someone senior that could show me the way, or coach me, or tell me, everything will be okay. Do 1, 2, 3. This is how you can overcome this situation. So I was down on the ground. I got knocked out. I was down on the ground for a long period of time. I was in difficulty. And what's happened was the people around me, the closest people to me, family and friends, excluding some good quality friends, of course, like Mujahid and others that, you'll see them on my channel shortly, inshallah, in the future as well. Other than them, the very closest people, the people that I respected the most, they were kicking me on the ground. Not literally like kicking me, like basically, what's wrong with you? You're so weak, and they were like criticizing me because of my vulnerable situation that I'm in. And the same people, when I was sharing a couple of nights ago, I was sharing the situation and the plight of this Palestinian lady who suffered domestic abuse. So the same people picked up the phone and called me and said to me, block these people. If anyone asks you for help, block them on WhatsApp, block them on social media. That's the way to go. Live for yourself only. Be selfish. Be for yourself. You happy. Don't tell the world. Don't share your success stories. Don't tell anyone. Don't help anyone. Why are you advising people? Let them suffer too. Let them go through the hardship. You've gone through the hardship. Let them also go through hardship. And I disagree with them, because this isn't Islam. Unfortunately, these people are Muslims. They profess to be Muslims, of course, but they have the wrong mindset. They don't understand what Islam is all about, because Islam teaches us, Prophet Muhammad taught us, that you should never turn your back against anyone that calls you for help, or goes to you and pleads you to assist them in some way. Someone tells you they're in a difficult situation, you should pay attention, give them your full focus, and find out how you can help them out of their plight, or their situation. And if you can't do it, you have to make other people aware of it. Other people aware that somebody out there in the community or anywhere in the world needs assistance. Anyone can assist. And it's very disappointing that a lot of people just say, "Oh, we'll keep her in prayer. I'll keep her in prayer." Yes, supplicate. If Islam was just about just praying and somehow you become rich and successful, if you're just praying and giving that, supplicating to Allah, you would lose weight, your fat would just melt away. If it was that simple, then Maryam, radiallahu anha, Maryam, the mother of Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, would have just done the same thing. But Allah ordered Maryam alayhi salam, the mother of Jesus, peace and blessings upon him, when she gave birth to Jesus, He ordered her to shake the palm tree. And she didn't have the strength. but to do some action. Just put your hand on the palm tree, and the tree shaked, and the dates were ripe, and they fell, because Jesus, peace and blessing upon him, was born in summer. He was not born in winter. So you check your Bible, read your Bible, really understand it. Don't believe what they tell you out there. Don't let other people. Always verify information yourself. So if someone gives you the information, go check it out. Go check out the facts. I did the same thing when I was a teenager. I went and checked out the facts. I went through the Torah, I went through the Bible, I went through the New Testament, and all the other versions of the Bible as well. I went through it. I spoke to priests and nuns and monks and you name it. Anybody that has any affiliation to any religious organization, I spoke to them. Even the Freemasons, I had connections with them. And I spoke to everyone who tried to understand exactly what's going on in the world, who's running what. Of course, there's a lot of corruption, a lot of things like that. I understand that. But I went through it, and then I just filtered out the useful information, and whatever appealed here in the mind, it made sense, as well as it appealed here in the heart. It just feels right. Then I knew I was onto something, because I know that Allah gave every single child that was born, every single human being was born on the correct inclination, like a compass, a moral compass, a compass that guides them to truth. But you're not going to get truth. You're not going to get knowledge. You're not going to get anything. You're not going to become rich. You're not going to do anything unless you seek it. Because Allah only guides those who seek guidance. Remember that. So those of you who are just dreaming to be successful, to own a business, start a business, all that stuff, and you go to sleep just dreaming about it without trying to do anything, without taking any risk, believe you me, just unless you inherit money, you'll be, you'll have capital, but it's not going to last very long. So you're not gonna achieve anything that way. Okay? You have to learn the hard way. Yes, get hints and tips, pointers, save yourself some pain, learn from other people's experience, other people's failures, do that. But always be prepared to go in the trenches and fight your way to success. Be prepared to sacrifice. Be prepared, you're going to get some hits along the way. It's not going to be an easy ride. You're going to get hit a few times in your face. You're going to get knocked down several times, not just once. You're really going to, have bruises all over you before you become battle ready and ready to become an entrepreneur or anything else that you want to achieve. You have to go through that, a journey. And success isn't a destination. Success is an ongoing journey. So every day you have to hit some sort of level of success. You have to be competing against yourself. Always trying to improve yourself that 1% or a fraction of a percent every single day in any aspect that you want to set your goal in. But you have to set a goal. Make a goal. Whatever it is, you decide what your definition of success is. Set that goal, set that target, and just walk towards it. And don't put a time, obviously it's time frame, you want to achieve something. Like an example of the challenge, the health challenge, me and Tamkin, we said 30 days, 30 days, I'm going to lose 20 kilos, 30 days, I'm going to lose 30 kilograms, 30 days, I'll lose 5, that kind of stuff. So put something and a time frame. But however, if you don't hit that target, just keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop until you reach your goal. That's the key of it. Just keep going. Push a few more days. Push a couple of months more. And that's what we're doing with the health challenge. Same thing, inshallah, we will set up other challenges and we'll work on it. Whether Tamkin will participate or not, that's a different scenario. But I am also looking for other challenges. Maybe a challenge for business. start up a business and let's build a business together. Let's cooperate together. Let's build something together. Writing a book. Let's write a book together, or write a book individually. Let's have a little competition, healthy competition, where each of us will write a book and publish a book within, let's say, 4, 6 months or 12 months, whatever it is. We'll set a range and we say, okay, within this period, let's do this particular activity and let's see how far we can go. And the winner or whatever, or the loser can donate to charity to support certain things. I'm not going to say to you, donate to this charity or that charity, because I found a lot of them are unethical in so many ways in their practices. They're taking big cuts from donations. They're not sincere about the cause. They say that they come across as if they are, but they're really trying to play with your heartstrings so you can donate, and then that will just finance their lifestyle. And a lot of these guys that are co-founders or founders or trustees or whatever, charities, they're driving around in some luxury. They're living in posh places, whatever. And that's okay if you started a business and you built a company, but you're getting free money from people that are donating money to help those who are really in dire situation. They're not donating money, paying zakat and sadaqah and all that stuff for you to live in a mansion or for you to buy a brand new car. They're not financing your lifestyle. So remember, one day you will stand in front of Allah and you have to answer for everything. So I'll leave it to you to decide how you want to proceed. But for me, I prefer to set up my own non-profit organization, inshallah. The will of Allah, this is what I'm dreaming right now, to do this before anything. And this means to me more than making £1 billion. So if someone can help me set up a non-profit organization, a real non-profit organization, where all the funds I will contribute myself in that foundation, and all the funds are coming, it's 100% going to the cause. That means to me more than working on something that will generate £1 billion. That means a lot, because through this foundation I can save a lot of lives. I could take a lot of people out of poverty, inshallah. This is what I want to do. This is my mission and vision of what I want to do. Build the skill set of people that may be unemployed at the moment. Give them that direction. Help the youth. Help people at any age even to get into business and start a company. Even if it's to get a very modest return. But these people have to be willing to put in the effort. Because unfortunately, I get approached by so many people telling me, help me start business, I need an investment, I need that. And when I ask them, how much are you investing in your own business? How much have you already done? And they've done zero, nothing. They've done absolutely nothing. They couldn't save. They worked 20 years in their life, working, and they couldn't even save anything. Tell them, how much have you saved? Where's the money gone? They spent it. They're enjoying it as they're going along, and they're expecting somebody else to put money into a venture that they haven't even put any effort in. They haven't done anything with it. Just an idea. It's just a cloud in the sky. And they don't have any, they don't have any scars or injuries from past attempts, because they haven't even tried. So they've never failed. What I look for are people that have failed, not once, not twice, but so many times, where they just say, man, I've lost so many times, again and again and again. I'll say, this guy is now closer to success. Now, my probability of going in with this person, or, lady or man, it doesn't matter about the gender, I have a higher probability that this business could take off, because they would have learnt quite a lot from all the beatings they got, on their journey to building a business. So this is the sort of thing that I look for as an investor. Now, I don't invest in someone with some hype. I don't invest or cooperate with people that are doing things that's unethical in my view, or some Ponzi scheme. I don't get involved in that. I say good luck, make your money, good luck, but stay away from me, my friends. I'm not interested in your Ponzi schemes. I'm not interested in scamming other people. I'll leave that to you, because you don't believe in a creator that's going to judge you. I believe God will judge me on what I do. Allah will ask me, how did you make your money? How did you spend your money? So those people that are fortunate to make good money, and then they spend it on luxury things, buying luxury cars or luxury clothes, or branded clothes and all that stuff, jewelry. Like, women love jewelry. They're crazy when they see something that shines. They go crazy and they blow their money on it. They forget about everything else and they spend every single penny. That's not the right thing to do, because you will have to answer to Allah. What would you say to Allah when He asks you, okay, you had X amount of money and you spent it on these luxuries, you went round, you went to restaurants, but there was this woman that was starving to death. Why didn't you feed her? There was this man who was homeless. Why didn't you shelter him? There was this other Muslimah. She was in difficulty and she needed assistance. She needed some time, someone to guide her. Your sisters were too busy in the mall, in the shopping centres, buying luxuries, wasting your time in front of a TV, for example, when you could have been out there assisting someone in need. So Allah will ask you these questions. How are you going to answer these questions? Did Allah create you just to enjoy yourself and have a good time? Just someone with no direction and no purpose in life. What they do is, they only live once, and that kind of nonsense. Are you going to say that? I was just here having a lovely time. I was on this world on holiday. Or are you going to give a good answer? What are you going to say to Allah when He asks you these questions? You have to be ready. And it's not just about fearing Allah. You're doing it because of your fear of the Creator, that you're disobeying the Creator. I want you to go one level further, and I want you to love Allah, love your Creator. He created you, gave you all these blessings, the eyesight, your health, the sustenance, the risk. Say Alhamdulillah for it. Say Alhamdulillah. And love Him for it. And when you do anything, do it because you love your Creator. So when you're helping others, you're doing it because this is your purpose. Allah created you for that purpose. And we must all be doing it. Not just someone who's more knowledgeable, or someone at certain status in life. He's the one that should step in and give da'wah and invite and proclaim the message and go out there supporting whatever. It's not about that. Every single one of us needs to play a role. Every single one of us needs to do something. Someone could do more than others, but everybody needs to contribute. So we can alleviate a lot of people out of poverty and the difficult situation. Now, you're someone that was not born a European, you was not born British, you was not born white, then you'll be discriminated, because that is the way this world is run by racists, people that are anti-blacks, anti-Muslim, anti-foreigners, anti-everything, and they like to point the finger at someone else. Politicians like to do that because they want to disguise their failures in life, their deception, their robbery. So they just say, look over there, look over there. The problem, everything we're facing here in this country is because of these foreigners. It's because of them. So your attention is deviated away from the real problem. But that politician is a criminal. He's robbing you. He's lying to you. He's deceiving you. He's spinning a lie. It's the whole concept of divide and conquer. Look for a difference and just say to everyone, oh, the reason why you're not getting a job is because these people come in and they took your job away. It's absolute nonsense. You should know that. You should be mature enough to know that. And they know it as well. But they work on this. They sell a lie. They have very eloquent speech. They stand out there in a podium and they give a nice speech. And people fall for it. So that's an unfortunate case. The other thing I noticed as well, I don't like to embarrass people or embarrass brothers. I noticed that people, when meet in the Isle of Man, talking about here, Muslims, they meet up with me and especially if they haven't met me before or they got to know me, they're interested to know what am I doing, how am I doing, all that stuff. They're just kind of trying to gauge what my net worth is or, you know, what do I have? How can they benefit from me in some way? When they realize that they're not going to get away, they're not going to go far with me, or there's nothing that, or I start bringing up topics of, oh, we need to do charity, let's collectively work together to alleviate this problem, they kind of drift away. Because they don't want to work at helping anybody. They don't want to solve someone else's problems. They want themselves to benefit. I've seen one brother who's got a fantastic car, beautiful car. And he was telling me about, financial problems. I was surprised. I was very surprised. This guy's driving a very expensive car and he's asking for money. If he sells his car, he'll get the money that he needs and more. So I'm very surprised that people prefer to beg than take a proactive action in their life, improve themselves, gain knowledge, learn new skills, invest in something that is useful, not a car, because a car is a liability. And when I told the brother, why don't you dispose of all these luxuries, just downsize a bit, because you seem to be having difficulty managing this kind of lifestyle, this standard of living. Downsize, save some money, invest and start a business. He said, business is too risky. So he prefers people just give him some cash so he can continue spending and enjoying life and living this fantasy life out of someone else's money. And that's wrong. That shouldn't be like that. Always try to live within your means. Don't go out to the world and start begging. And don't abuse your position of authority as well. I know it's very common in the Middle East especially, and the countries where they have briberies and so there's a big corruption going on, especially in Egypt, for example. And everyone says this is just the way, you can't do business unless you bribe people, you take bribes, and it's absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense what they're doing. So they should go back to the Quran and the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his sayings, his behavior, his character. Should go back to that. And when I tell that to people that I know, they tell me, oh, no, this was in the past. Oh, no, these are miracles. Yeah, okay, this guy donated all his money or donated a large portion of his money to help this and done that, and he sacrificed for this and that. And yeah, this is the stories in the past. It doesn't apply for today. Today we can't do that. We can't give up our things to help others. We can't sacrifice for other people. I have to look after myself. So, costs are going higher. And because of that, they're still falling back. They're not getting the barakah. They're not getting the blessings from Allah. But believe you me, if they sacrificed for other people, And I'm talking about sacrifice for people that are in need. There are people that are contacting me so they can put a deposit to buy a house. That is not someone who's in need. If you're working, you're earning money, rent a property. Build up your capital, then buy a property with your cash, whatever you can afford. It may sound difficult, but don't break the rules. In Islam, it's haram to take out a mortgage. It's haram to take out a loan. And I'm surprised when I heard in the mosque, I was attending the Zohar prayer. And one brother was saying that he's got, I don't know why he was sharing all his personal details, but he was saying to the other brother, my budget is this, I've got X amount of money, which is about 10% of the property, and he wants to buy a property in the range of £400,000, and he only has about 10% of the value capital saved, and he was asking for the brother to help him find a property which he can take out loan on. And I thought, why is in the mosque are they talking about committing haram? Subhanallah, this brother was reading the Quran, and yet he was talking about this. He hasn't been educated, and the unfortunate thing is in Arab, he knows more Arabic than me. He should know more about Islam than me. He read the Quran, he's reading the words of Allah, and telling him riba, decreases, it brings poverty and decreases your wealth, and trade increases your wealth, and riba is not the same as trade. Allah made interest and riba haram, forbidden, and He made trading, that taking the risk and doing business, halal. So he's reading the verses, but his action is different. His thinking is not affected. The words are beautiful. His recitation is beautiful in Arabic, but it's not going any further than his throat. It's not entering his heart. So I don't respect these people. I wish for them hidayah, I pray for them for hidayah, but I don't respect them. I lose respect for people. When I hear this kind of conversation, I say, okay, I really thought you was a religious brother, and now you're talking about taking out a loan from the bank and buying from a mortgage and stuff. You've now dropped in my eyesight. And the other brother was, asking for help and looking for a job and whatever. He's driving a fantastic, expensive car. Look at him. If you can afford it, that's fine. But don't forget the people around you. You should be giving back to the community, not trying to take for yourself. You should be thinking about other people's misfortune, other people less fortunate than you, which you can support them and help them, not trying to take. You have to be someone who's a giver. You give. You're someone that's giving constantly, not thinking about what you're going to receive in return. Just give. Everyone should be a giver. Okay? So that's the sort of thing. And this other brother I was talking to, he said to me, not everyone can be like that. There are people that are takers. There are people that will give and take, so everyone is different. I said, no, say that about anyone else. But if you're a Muslim, you have to, it's your obligation, it's your duty to always be giver. You're giving your time, you're giving whatever wealth or blessing that Allah has bestowed upon you. This is your purpose, to give, to share, to teach, to learn and teach, give. This is the way it's supposed to be. This is what the message of Islam is all about. Spreading peace, spreading knowledge. The first verse that came in the Quran, first verse that came to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was read, recite, proclaim, teach, share. That's the first words that came down. Teach, share, knowledge, learn, gain knowledge, share. And then other verses came after that. So it's the importance of reading and reciting and proclaiming a message, teaching. And I heard there was another hadith, I haven't memorized it, where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that you can be one of those, 3 or 4 types and not to be the last type, which is someone that's not either a teacher or a student in life. So you have to live all your life since the cradle to the grave as a student, constantly learning, always in the student mode, and always in a mode of being a teacher, teaching. Not really work as a teacher in a school or a college, no, but always sharing, be always in that state of sharing knowledge, sharing experience, that kind of stuff, and also learning from other people's experiences and so on, to make the world a better place through cooperation between each other. So this is the real message of Islam, and this is what I'm trying to do in this channel, is not just talk about technology, which is my specialization, not talk about finance, which is my specialization, not talk just about business. I'm trying to mix it together. I'm trying to give you underlyingly the message of Islam at the same time. When you look into the Quran, see for yourself with your own eyes what it says, how to live as a Muslim. Don't judge Islam by the Muslims out there. Don't look at the Muslims and say this is what Islam is about. Because I'm telling you right now, there is no Islamic country anywhere in the world. There is none. There's absolutely no country anywhere in the world that's implementing anything from Islam. It's all superficial stuff. It's just like a culture, dress code, whatever. They might dress like a certain way, but inside there's no Islam. There is no Islam internally. They're just taking bits and bits here and there. And Allah warns us about this. He said, if you want to be a Muslim, you have to take Islam holistically, because it's a complete way of life. It's guidance about all aspects, from how to sleep, how to wake up, how to do business, how to teach, how to study, how to be a student, how to diet, how to do exercise, everything, every aspect you can think of is covered by Allah. How to, build an economy according to the Quran. Everything is there. Politics, running a country, how to have a thriving, in the social system, everything is there. Human rights, women's rights, you name it, animal rights, everything is covered. It's a holistic way of life. And he warned us about taking bits from the religion. Oh, I like this bit, or I don't like this bit, and I'll leave this bit out and take this bit. You can't do that. You have to take it holistically. So you have to implement Islam completely for you to truly be someone that can say, I profess to be a Muslim. Not just someone that says that and dresses a certain way, grows their beard, wears just a hijab, or just goes to the mosque and that's it, or just prays. If you're praying, you're fasting, you're doing it for yourself only. You're the only one that's going to benefit. You feel that obligation, you'll get benefit for it, you'll get the reward for it. But how about the actions and activities that is building the whole society? It's going to have an impact on the whole world. Like knowledge, learning, studying, and then sharing knowledge when you're teaching voluntarily, not for any benefit. Doing it for Allah. I'm going to sacrifice every Saturday or Sunday, to give dawah, street dawah. I'm ashamed to say this. When I was younger, I used to, go out and do dawah, but I stopped for a very long time. I don't think I have the confidence now to stand in the street and call people to Islam like I did in my younger years. But it's an obligation for every Muslim to give dawah, to call people, to invite people, not to force it down their throat. You have to respect everyone's way of life, because there's no compulsion in a way of life. There's no compulsion in religion. La ikraha fi din. It says in the Quran. So Allah tells us you have to respect people's lifestyle, their choice. So He gave you that freedom to choose and refuse to worship Allah, to recognize Allah. He gave the people the choice, and He still provides for them. He still gives them sustenance. He allows them to live their life whichever way they want to live it. Even if they're doing it in the wrong way, they're denying the existence of God, whatever, He still gives them, because this is the only life they will have. After that, they have no share in the afterlife. They have no share. Finished. You didn't turn up for work. What do you expect to get paid? Why are you expecting to get paid from a company that you've never worked a single day in your life? You've never turned up to work. You've never done anything. And you expect to receive a salary? Where's the logic in that? So why do you expect Allah to reward someone who denied His existence, did absolutely nothing productive in his life, wasted his life, and done all sorts of sins, and yet expects him to go to paradise after all that? Complete nonsense, right? So it doesn't make sense. Only those who at least make an effort, at least try to do something. You may not be the best, but at least you've tried to do something. So you focus on the activities, and the first and foremost, obviously, you recognize in the existence of your Creator. You believe, you love Him, you obey Him, not just from fear, but because you love Him. Because He gave you so much, He saved your life, He guided you to truth. That's the greatest blessing, more greater than your eyesight. The greatest blessing is the guidance that you will get. So, my advice, my friends, look into Islam. You owe it to yourself. Look into the Quran. You owe it to yourself to know the truth. You owe it to yourself. Don't deny yourself from this blessing. I'm not asking you to revert to Islam. At least look into it. Investigate. Read a few verses to see where it takes you. If it resonates with you, go for it. Go deeper. If it doesn't, put it aside. I challenged a guy, I'm not sure what position he was in the church, but I'm a priest or I don't know what. And I challenged him. I said to listen, look at this Quran, look at this book. I read your book, so I read the Bible. Just take the Quran home, go for it. If you find any inconsistency, discrepancies in the verses, or if you find something that doesn't resonate here and in your heart at the same time, and things a bit, that doesn't sound right, it just doesn't feel right, that kind of stuff, it doesn't make sense, anything like that, I'm telling you right now, just put the book aside, never look at it again. Do whatever you want to do. If you ever find that. It turns out he then decided, after 9 months, him reading, going through the Quran, putting it aside, leaving it for, a month going by, not doing it and not reading anything, and then eventually something keeps calling him back. 9 months later, he reverted to Islam. It's just the way it is, It's just the way it is, and I'm very confident anyone that reads the Quran and looks at Islam, it'll be very hard to deny the truth, very hard, because truth outshines falsehood. It's just crystal clear. And anyone from my friends who read the Quran and tried, I've seen them struggling because they're fighting against their innate nature. It's like something is telling them this is the truth. It makes sense, feels right in the heart, there's attraction, but they're fighting it. So you see them, they're having like an internal battle. They're trying to reject it because of their arrogance. Their arrogance. How can I be wrong? I've lived 30 years in Jahiliyyah, in ignorance. How could someone then tell me all my 30 years of ignorance like that? I can't take it, especially if someone's younger than me. No, I'm going to stick to my falsehood. I'm going to stick to my ignorance. And they'll keep fighting the truth. They'll be trying to look for something that will convince them that they're right and everyone else is wrong. So don't be like that. Be a real man. So when you're confronted and the evidence and the truth comes to you and falls on your lap, accept it, recognize that you made a mistake, recognize that you was on the wrong road. You've just get back on track, get back on the right road. Don't continue on the wrong journey in life. Find your purpose and go for it. Just like your life depends on it, because it does depend on it. Your success, your salvation in this world and in the next. I'm saying this because there is any benefit to me. All the benefits for you. You know, if someone out there takes some ideas or anything I've said and they succeed and they run with it and they make it better and they, structure it in such a way that it's, you can work on it, your own plan. You have to follow my plan. Do better than me. I'm not going to benefit from you in any way at all. The only benefit that I will get from you is if you supplicate and say, Allah bless him. Allah, help him, strengthen him, give him the energy and the ability to share more knowledge, give him more success. This is the only way I'm going to benefit from you. It's from your supplication to Allah. But I don't want the Muslims to supplicate. If you're a Muslim, I don't want you just to supplicate. Supplicate, yes, but follow it by action. Follow it by action. Do something practical. It's like we pray, we do physical motion. You're reading the verses from the Quran. You're doing physical action. If Allah did not order or prescribe for us praying, and if we're just supplicate. No, He's trying to teach us something. There is something there. Something there that there's a prescription. It's, praying 5 times a day. There is a reasoning. There is a reason behind it. There's a reason behind why Allah, showed us how the Prophet Muhammad and other prophets as well before Prophet Muhammad also suffered. They've gone through some hardship, and ultimately at the end they succeeded. Some prophets were killed from Bani Israel. There were people that were denying the prophets. They didn't want the prophets to come, so they were killing them. So there are always enemies. There's always evil people. Satanic servants of Satan, that are always fighting against the good. But unfortunately, there comes a time when silence is betrayal. And a lot of good people, they're silent, they're quiet. Their parents advise them, stay quiet, live like a little insect. It's better, be unknown, just live for yourself. That's what parents are advising their children. Obviously not all the parents. The parents that have weak values, not the right understanding of Islam. Parents are living for worldly materialistic things and want their children to just become materialistically successful. Not successful in this world. In the next, they're focusing on something that they can measure. Money, you can be measured, you can count units. £1, £10, 20, 100, like that. So that's what they see as success. How many zeros do you have in your account? Not what's your ultimate destination after you pass away. They don't care about that. Majority of people do not care about it. Oh yeah, well, Allah Ghafur Rahim, Allah will forgive all sins, blah. That's okay, we'll leave it for the Akhirah. Parents ignore that. They ignore the Akhirah of their children. And I'm not saying all parents. Some parents are religious. Some parents, they push their children away from Islam by pushing them too hard. Instead of teaching them to love Allah and the beauty of Islam, they try to ram it down their throats. Memorize the Quran. What is this? Why am I? They don't understand the reason behind why they're being forced to give up their weekend to recite the Quran. I'm not saying this about it's a good thing to learn the Quran, but first teach them about Islam. I spoke to children that memorize more the Quran than me. They recite the Quran beautifully, MashaAllah. I asked them very simple things about the verses they're reciting, but they don't know. They don't know what they're reciting. They don't know what the stories they've memorized, verses, but they don't know what the message is about. Because the parents completely ignored that fact. They ignored the fact to teach them Islam. Islam isn't memorizing the verses only. You need to understand the story of the Prophet, the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. You need to plant the love. If the children understand the stories, the story of the boy and the king, for example, Surah Al-Buruj, you know, they understand that story. They'll say, wow, the Creator's so amazing. He loves me and he does this. And they'll have this conviction, this strong taqwa in their heart while they're still children. They will understand the true message of Islam. They will understand that their purpose is to serve others. Service to men leads to greatness. So they will do that. They won't be they wouldn't be in school selfish. They won't be trying to, just thinking about themselves, their own gains. There'll be people out there who are productive in society, useful for others, and that kind of stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you a little sad story. I always like to highlight the negative stuff that I notice in the community because I want them to improve. I want them to change. I'm not saying that look at them and just criticizing. No, I want them to change. Now, there was once upon a time when I was active in Dawah, and I may have shared this in a previous podcast, a few months back. And I used to have connections with football players, celebrities and so on. And a lot of the children in the neighborhood recognized me as someone that's connected to these football players. And they were big fans of, the football team and that kind of stuff. So when they would see me, they would come to me, oh, I want to meet this player, I want to meet this player, and that kind of stuff. And I just took it as a way, because of that fame that Allah's blessed me with, to reach out to these children and start telling them stories of creation, who created this world, start teaching them things like that. I will share with them cartoons, the story of the boy and the king and stuff. I had that cartoon on a tape, and I would let them watch it, and I would share so many things with them until they came to a point where there was a girl and a boy. I can't remember what age they were, and they wanted to visit the mosque. They wanted to see what it's like. They wanted to see, certain things. So I decided to make a big group of children, and they just all came with me. We were all marching down the street, and their parents, they were happy that I'm taking care of all their children, and I was like a young kind of age in my early 20s. So I took them to the mosque. They had an amazing time. There was a lot of food, cakes, and they were having a nice time playing and stuff like that. And an Asian kid, I don't want to say Pakistani or Bangladesh, I'm not going to mention, unfortunately, it's sad this happened. And they started calling him Gura. They started saying to them, to this young girl that, oh, you eat pigs, you're filthy, get out from here. Some kids saying that. And they were started the kids from parents that are backward. Of course, they had no manners, no etiquette, no respect for anyone that's not the same skin color. So they are racist in a different way. Now, you wouldn't expect it, someone who's Asian or Pakistani would be the one that's a racist against a white. You wouldn't expect it, because usually it's the whites that are racist against blacks and colored people and all that stuff. But I witnessed it for myself. And when I told these kids off, these Pakistani kids, Asian kids, Bengalis, whatever, Indian, and I told them off, their parents got involved. Don't shout at my son. I said, your son was rude. Your son made this girl cry. Why is he saying these words? Where did he learn these filthy, disgusting words? Why is he saying it in a mosque? You're the one that's supposed to step in. If you're the parent, you're supposed to step in and say to him, don't speak like that. Have respect. But the parents are lost. They're in the mosque showing off. They're not interested in Islam. They are fake Muslims, in my opinion. They're there as a celebrity. I'm a Muslim. Look at my beard. Look at my faux. So they have no Islam inside their heart. Therefore, they allowed their children to be rude. They gave a bad example to Islam. What do you think when these children that are trying to learn about Allah and stuff like that, and from a very young age, and they're interested because of all the stuff that I'd invested over time, telling them stories and showing them cartoons and sharing the message, and they're pure in their hearts, so they want to get closer to the Creator. They start to love their Creator, and then this happens. What do you think they will do when they go to their parents? They'll tell them they're having a horrible time. They will never want to come back. Even their parents will lose interest in Islam. So we, the Muslims, are bad example. We are bad example. We're not portraying Islam correctly. And those who are parents, they're not responsible parents. They don't deserve to be parents. And children, they're learning disgusting stuff, not from the street, but even from their parents. I'm not saying all parents are like that. Of course, there are good parents. There's people that have respect. There's people that stepped in and told this, I don't know if it's a Bengali or Pakistani brother, listen, this is wrong. And you know, there was people that are intervening. But I'm just giving you an example of a behavior that happens. Now, is any da'wah happening in the Isle of Man? I haven't seen any. And I haven't seen any interest of any group coming together or anyone wanting to join hands to show the beauty of Islam to the world and to show to the people in the Isle of Man and tell them about Islam. And the people that are non-Muslim, they are more Muslim than the people that attend the mosque congregation. They know more about, not they know the message of Islam, but they're living a lifestyle in alignment with the way the Prophet told us. For example, I'll give you a simple example. Walk outside in the street in the Isle of Man in the morning. Everyone greets everyone. Good morning. How are you today? How's your health? People just talk to each other. They don't even need to know each other, but they kind of recognize each other. You're from the community, you know, from the Manx community. You're from the Isle of Man. You're a local. So they just kind of chat away. I go to a shop. They greet each other. But I don't see it amongst the small community of Muslims. I see Muslims in the street. And I say to them, salam. They see me before I see them. They don't even say salam to me. I'm the one that has to cross the road and say to them, Assalamu alaikum, brother. The other day I was sitting in a place and there was a Muslim sitting behind me. And he was sitting behind me on the same table for 2 hours. He did not even stand up, look and greet me. Maybe he didn't recognize me, but I'm sure I looked around, he's seen my face. He knows I'm a Muslim as well. And he is a friend of mine. He did not do anything. It's only when I noticed, when I looked all the way back, and I recognized him, he was playing with his mobile. He was kind of like trying to avoid eye contact. Why? Why can't we be brothers? Why is he in fear that I might ask him for something? You know, and out of all that, I don't know if he was busy, whatever, he'd vanished. After I got distracted talking to someone else, he was supposed to be next to me, and I wanted to go to the next event together. I wanted to do so many things. I wanted to talk to the brother. I haven't seen him for a long time. I was happy to see him, but he disappeared, as if, you know, he didn't want to talk to me. But that's the sort of thing I felt. Muslims are not united in the Isle of Man. I've seen it in other cities, but there are some cities that I've attended and been to, and some countries I've been to where I've seen the community of Muslims united. But you know what? The community that I see the united, the Jewish community are very united. So maybe we should learn something from them, because they are following the correct teaching from Moses. Moses was a Muslim. This kind of unity is from Islam from the beginning of creation. This is what's been proclaimed through all the scriptures. This is the way we're supposed to live. We're supposed to be united, helping each other, cooperating. I don't see it amongst the Muslim community in the Isle of Man. I don't see it in most cities I go to. They're divided. There was one time I attended, there was a Jummah prayer, and two groups of Muslims, they were fighting after Jummah in the mosque, and the police was called to separate them. They were fighting punches, throwing punches inside the mosque after khutbah, after the Jamaat prayer. Sorry. So, what do you call that? Is that Islam? To fight in, the house of Allah? Is that? I don't know. It's not. Definitely it's not. But this is the state of the Muslims. And this is why they are suffering and we are suffering. And all these people, all these problems that we're having around the world, it's because of us. This is what Allah wants us to rectify a situation. It's a warning. We're getting warning after warning after warning. When are you going to wake up? When are we going to wake up and realize this? We've been given so many warnings. Why you keep trying to go down the wrong road? Someone was trying to do, I don't want to expose anyone, but someone was trying to do something haram. He had the intention. Tonight I'm going to go out and I'm going to do some haram. And then he was stopped. Something happened, something prevented him from going out and committing that haram act. And he was complaining. This happened and it ruined his night and ruined his plan and so on. When he was telling me his story, I was laughing. I said, SubhanAllah, Allah saved him. Allah prevented him from doing a sin. The guy's thinking of doing something haram and this happens and it just, it took him out to that state and prevented him from having that night out and enjoying and doing whatever sin that he wanted to commit. And he's complaining. And then he's now intending to go next night and the next night and next night. What's going on with you? Why are you fighting to do something haram? Why not take the first time that it's got stopped as a sign for you to change your life? Allah loves you, He stopped you. But if you keep persisting that you are in, you are like, you want to go out there and you want to get sins. It's not a game. Don't I'm just going to do something haram today and tomorrow or maybe a few years or before I die I'm going to repent and Allah's going to forgive me because He's the most merciful. It's not a joke. Allah knows your intention. And because He knows your intention, He stopped you. He knows and He's trying to save you. He doesn't want people to go to hell. Allah looks for any reason to admit people into paradise. He wants to give them an excuse. I know people that have, honestly, they're absolutely lost. They're completely ignorant in Islam or whatever. But simple acts, like an animal or something, and they give a dog some water or do something, or they care for an animal. And I say maybe this little simple act that they've done, they don't do anything else. But maybe that simple act of just caring for an elderly person, or feeding a cat, or feeding some birds, or any simple act like that, could be the reason why Allah puts them into paradise, forgives all their sins. And we already know the story of a lady that was doing lots of serious, major sins, and then she seen a thirsty dog in the desert, and she risked her life to get water from the well and give it to the dog. And for this simple act, although this woman was a sinner, Allah said, I not only forgive all her past sins, I forgive everything, the past, future, everything. And she got admitted into paradise. Just for giving water to a dog, a thirsty dog. This is how merciful Allah is. He wants any reason to admit you and forgive your sins. Just any reason. Just do anything, man. That's all it is. Such a lovely, beautiful religion. Such a lovely, beautiful creator. SubhanAllah, So what's wrong with me? Why can't I be a better person? Why can't you be a better person, a better Muslim, if you're a Muslim? And if you're not, why not try to be a better human being and seek truth? Because guides those who seek guidance. So you need to seek it. You can't just get it like that. You have to seek success. You have to seek losing weight. You have to seek being educated. You have to go out there and you have to seek knowledge, to learn, to get educated. It's not just by miracle, not hocus pocus. You have to take action. Take action, meet your luck halfway, and leave the rest to Allah. Leave that part, the success and failure, the results in the hand of Allah. Leave it for Allah. You just focus on the activity. And believe you me, if you've invested this kind of effort and you've worked hard for something, Allah's not going to let you down. He will make you successful. That's for sure. You just have to believe in it and you have to go for it. Put all your heart in it and your might and just keep pushing. And do it for the right intentions. So if you want to build a business, make sure that your heart is clean and you're saying, I want to build a business and I want to give a percentage of my profit for this particular cause. Dedicate your life to a particular cause. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's animal rights, even human rights, it doesn't matter. Just dedicate yourself to something. Create a purpose for yourself, a greater purpose. Not just about accumulating wealth. Because when you die, you're not going to take anything with you. You're not going to take your Bugatti. You're not going to take your millions with you. You're not going to take your clothes, your designer clothes, or your Rolex watch or anything. But you will take your good deeds with you. So if you've saved a life, that is a good deed that's going to carry on. If you wrote books or shared knowledge online or any sort of media, that knowledge is going to continuously benefit others. Next generation, a generation after that. As long as that knowledge is there, you're getting a reward. Even though you've left this world, you're still gaining. You're still getting richer and richer and richer in the afterlife with good deeds. That should be our target. Everything else will become easy, inshallah. And believe you me, take my word for it, you could try it out for yourself. If you start focusing on other people's problems, you start putting your conviction of solving someone else's problems, helping someone else, say, I'm gonna dedicate to solve this person's problems. What's he at? What's he struggling with right now? I'm gonna try to solve his problems before I look at my problems. All your problems will be taken care of. They will just disappear. Allah will send other people to take care of your problems. Your problems will go away, will evaporate. He will make your life easy. You'll be in peace all the time. Believe you me, I've experienced it and I'm experiencing it right now. When I go out there and I look for people that are in need, people that need support, and I go out there and I try to help them out, and I make it my mission to help them. Even if I fail, I'm trying, but somehow, by miracle, my problems start to go away. My problems start to evaporate. So maybe I need accommodation or I need a house. I'm looking for a house. But then there's another person I meet. He's also looking for a room to rent or a house to rent or a studio or whatever. And I sacrifice my needs for his needs. Allah gives me better. Allah opens up doors for me. Makes life easy. Makes everything in peace. Likewise, there was a situation where I was forbidden. Well, I was banned from going to the mosque for Jum'ah, for example, from an employer, and I sacrificed the job for that. I sacrificed the job just to go to Jum'ah. It upset them, lost the job, but Allah made my life easy, opened doors for me. He made me to become self-employed, start to work and build my own business. So that's what I want to tell you. Understand that Allah is the provider. He's the Razzaq. He's the sustainer. Not your employer, not your business, not anything else. Allah is the sustainer. So why should you be worried if it's already written that you will, in your whole lifetime, will earn X amount of money, or you receive X amount of sustenance, whatever. That's not going to go up. It's not going to get less. You're going to get every single drop of water that's written for you. That's what we have to believe in. Qadr and Qadr. Predestined determination, whatever. I can't really translate the word in English. Destiny, and I'm not sure now, I forgot the words. Yeah, so whatever's written for you, you'll get it. But you have a choice, either to get it through halal means, trapping in a nice beautiful way, you'll receive your risk, or if you want to work hard and die and struggle and still get the exactly same amount of money, same amount of risk, and maybe you try to cut corners and do it for haram means, like the brothers that have like these shops and they're selling alcohol and cigarettes and shisha and stuff like that, as well as food. And when you tell them, why, brother, you have a restaurant, why you are selling alcohol, they say this is the only way to get customers. It's complete nonsense. That's weakness in Iman. He does not understand Islam. He does not understand the message. It means he's not convinced of the message, because if Allah tells him, zina leads to poverty and marriage opens the doors of risk, and he decides, well, actually, it's cheaper for me to commit zina and not get married because it's cheaper in his mind, then he's going against what Allah has told him. Allah told him, no, it's the other way. Zina will make you poor. You will become poorer. You're not going to become rich. You're not going to become successful. You would lose everything. So I'm not going to stay too long. I'm going to get a bit tired because I have an early morning tomorrow, inshallah. But I thought I wanted to share something before I go to bed. And I spoke about a lot of different points. I like to always give you a little bit insight here and there, give you a little bit of stories here and there. And I hope, inshallah, the world becomes a better place for everyone. Muslims, non-Muslims, it doesn't matter. We're all human beings, and we all originate from the same family. We are diverse, we have different angles, we have different stuff like that. We should respect everyone's decision, how they want to lead their life. And you should not impose our way of life on them, nor should they impose their way of life. So, whatever you want to do in your life, you do it. You was given that freedom, and we respect that you have given that freedom from the Creator. Whether you believe in Him or not, that's not the point. But all I can do is advise you, point you in the right direction. If you insist to go in the wrong direction, that's no one else to blame except yourself. But I can only point you in the right direction, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not telling you to do that or do that. I'm not telling you to become a Muslim or submit yourself to believe in the Creator. It's your choice. You're the one that's going to benefit if you find out the truth. Because like I said before, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to know the truth. The truth will set you free. And ignorance is not bliss. It's knowledge is bliss. Knowledge is bliss. Remember that. Not ignorance. Don't be like an ostrich and put your head in the ground and just ignore the reality that's around you. You'll get eaten up. You're not going to be able to hide from the lion. The lion is the death. It comes for you. Okay? And that lion is chasing each of us until he catches us. And that's it. So time's up. And that's also written for us as well. So at least give a good message. At least do something. Even create your own YouTube channel. Spread the knowledge. And you don't have to make it for charity like me. You could say, I'm going to give 10% of the profit. If you're a YouTuber, whatever you have, you can give 10%, 20%, 50% of the revenue for a good cause. If you want, give up all of it for a good cause and make your source of income in other ventures that you're doing, a business or work or employment, I don't know, whatever, you can get something commercial project going somewhere else and dedicate your YouTube channel for the sake of Allah, or dedicate it to fund, humanitarian projects or something like that. It's up to you. Okay, I'm gonna leave you for now, inshallah. I'm gonna say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessing be upon you in English, and good night. Take care.